And one of the things I want to remind the commission is that is a large reason for why we're trying to create key corridors, or why I ask you to continue to look at those as part of funding. Because if we take people directly from Laredo to the south side of Houston, for instance, through funding the I-69 corridor, but it's currently US 59, runs from Laredo through Victoria on to Houston. And if we tie that into the Grand Parkway, what we create is, or what we help alleviate, is the need to go through San Antonio to then get on I-10 and go to Houston and go through Houston to get to the port. And so continuing to think through some of the key corridors as alternate routes for freight, and getting them to divided 4-lane is a definite way to help with congestion and to allow through traffic, not to have to go through some of the corporate, some of these metropolitan areas. Another one is, 3,000 miles of I-69, 300 miles of that is completed. And so giving them an alternate route as we're able to complete that project is going to, and you spoke to it specifically. It's one thing to talk about it; it's a different thing to fund it. And so that's definitely the challenge. But that would move things out of San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth. That doesn't have to go there. The thing we're not going to fix with these alternate routes. So 281 should easily help I-35 going north and south, with folks that want to leave San Antonio and not go through Austin, not go through Waco, not go to the Dallas-Fort Worth market, even if they want to go all the way to Wichita Falls and hit 44 to go to the East Coast. So we can, by creating these alternate routes through the key corridors, help give trucks options. And as they are looking for time savings, productivity, the ability to have to stay on the road and not get stuck in traffic, they're incented to use alternate routes that are divided 4-lane. And so I believe that the key corridors are specifically designed to help with clear lanes, frankly. I mean, that's why it's symbiotic. And so I hope we continue to fund those and move trucks to alternate routes. Now, I also think you brought up some interesting thoughts on truck-only routes and things, truck-only lanes and some things like that could complement it. So it's probably multi-pronged, the way to move forward, I certainly think. But I also want to bring up right now the idea that Highway 87 and 83 is a key corridor that is in the UTP. So I hope that we just continue to move it forward and fund it. But there's also the opportunity to continue to think of what would be another key corridor to continue to let trucks move differently than they do currently. And if you look, we tie all of the seaports together with I-69, but we don't have a road that's divided 4-lane that ties all of the land ports together. And so I encourage the commission to be looking at Highway 83 that starts in the Rio Grande Valley and runs all the way up toward Eagle Pass. And then it starts being other highways, 277 in Laredo up to Del Rio, and back to the issue of trying to move trucks out of metropolitan markets. If we took that road from all of those land ports up to I-10, where it intersects with Sonora, that's on I-10. That allows trucks to go to the West Coast, go to Seattle, go to Denver, go to Phoenix, go to Los Angeles. And I don't want to bring up a number without looking it up. The percentage of freight from our land ports going to California would blow your mind. It's a large percentage. You could set it up where those trucks and those folks coming across those land ports would go to I-10 and west, and the only city in the state of Texas they would go through is El Paso. And so you could move those people completely out of San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth. So I encourage us to be looking at a corridor along the border for national security reasons and for the ability to continue to help with congestion in the cities and the metropolitan areas. So I think developing alternative routes is an important part of your strategy to help get trucks out of the cities. The one thing we're not going to do, though, when you're going from 7 million people to 15 million, is take away the last mile. When you're serving 15 million people, you're going to have a lot of trucks bringing a lot of products into Dallas, Fort Worth. And so we won't get away from the last mile, but we can start trying to make great strides about through traffic to give them alternative routes and set it up where they don't have to go through metropolitan markets. And frankly, I don't think they want to. I think if we can give them options to have throughput where they don't have the congestion to fight through, and give them ways to get to alternate routes, I think that they'll choose those, and at least we can work on the ones that are not trying to go to the last mile but are just trying to get through the state of Texas. So I encourage us to continue to think that way, and those are my comments. Thank you.